Hello and welcome to Season 9. With me is Organized Crisis,
Hello.
and we will be covering Division 3 for you guys. If you're wondering who we are, Organized Crisis is an org coach in Division 7. I made a joke about him only rolling ones at winnings in the last two precaps for two other divisions, so I'm not doing that again. Instead, I'm gonna say that he has some trouble keeping all his orcs alive. So you
Yeah.
will usually see some busted up orcs under his command. And if you're curious about who I am, I'm Hindus, for some known as the Puffin, for some known as the Toucan. Those who know me as Toucan shall feel a disappointed view from me. And well, I'm a Division 4 coach and I'm coaching lizards, so big fan of the control play style. And yeah, if you see me advocating for guard, there that might be the reason for that. But let's shift the focus away from us recappers and towards your teams, since there are quite a bunch of them. It's a little bit bashy in this division. We have some Nurgle, we have some dwarfs, some dwarfs, some chaos, some lizards, but also a fair share of not so bashy teams like Skaven or ogres, some Amazons, some Bretonians. I think it's a decent mix.
Yeah.
Well, which team shall we start with?
Mustang BBC, maybe?
Yeah, sure, it's the first team. That's the easy decision.
Yeah.
that they are coached by Noru. Probably butchered the name, but well, you gotta live with it. What do you think about this team?
Um, it seems like a good team.
Yeah,
Got an agility stat up on a blitzer. Got a bunch of dodges, some tackles, some blockers with the guard, and an agility blocker. It's a good team.
yeah, he has quite a few players. He's up to 14. Two of them will be
Yeah.
missing, but I believe he's ready to foul when he gets the chance.
Yeah.
The blitzers are looking pretty nice. Blotch, tackle, blotch tackle agility, blotch tackle side, blotch leader sidestep, so it's looking good in that department.
Yeah.
Uh, the agility 4 armor value 7 guard piece is an interesting one.
Would you keep him or would you fire him?
I'd probably keep him, but I wouldn't give him apothecary rights.
Okay. Yeah.
So if he dies, and I'll just get a blocker who has armor value 8 again, because having armor value 7 sucks.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could still build him to a pretty good sacker, but he is already quite far in the development since he got guard first. So yeah, it's a difficult decision to make.
Yeah.
What do we think about the naming scheme? Do we recognize one?
Um, it's a French team. I don't know if that's the standard standard Bretonian names. I'm not sure. But
I'm not sure either. If there is one, feel free to let us know. And other than that, let's take a quick look at his statistics. He has 8 wins, 10 draws, and 3 losses.
yeah,
That's a respectable thing. Only 3 losses is actually really good. But
it is.
yeah, it's a good looking team. He has a nice record. I think he's ready for this div.
Yeah.
Shall we see if Bainesy's team is ready as well with the Nordic Nooblets?
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look indeed. And there is a player standing out from the rest.
Yeah, Bjorn Ironside. Oh my god. What a player. A
Yeah,
star player.
he is quite a star player, and I, I'd I'd say this is a team completely built around Bjorn Ironside, since
Yeah,
I mean there are some nice players, but nothing actually that great.
no. He is made to kill.
Yeah, it will. Bjorn Ironside definitely will have a target on his back in
Yeah,
in his games, since if you can knock him out, get him to the sideline, your life will be a lot easier.
yeah.
Let's see how old is Bjorn Ironside? It took him 63 matches to get his legend status.
Yeah.
Let's see, is he actually that old, or did he get bored at some point? We have 22 wins, 12 draws, and 32 losses. So the team is that old.
Wow.
Quite impressive.
Yeah.
But it looks like the other original players had less luck surviving than Bjorn Ironside. But that's usually the fate of Norse players. They live a short and glorious life.
Yeah.
Regarding the naming scheme, I spot some admins there, Gerber and XS, both familiar names.
Yeah. Both the berserkers are from are real Norse historical figures.
Yeah. Tibbles is a pretty good name for a Yeti. I like it.
Yeah.
Goes nicely off the tongue, and it fits to a Yeti.
Yeah.
It looks like Tibbles is a fairly fresh addition to the team. 4 matches played, yet still has to earn a single point of SPP. But let's see if he can get him going this season. Two,
Hopefully.
yeah, two dirty players. So Bainsy is not shying away from fouling, and a lot of block.
As you would expect
Yeah,
from
Norse.
Norse. Yeah.
But let's get to the next team. Coach, I'm very familiar with. It's Verovim. He's a good friend of mine, and he got the Nurgle Murgle Urgle.
Yeah.
And look at those Nurgle warriors.
It's disgusting.
Those are some really good looking Nurgle warriors. I mean, Huss is a little bit slacking behind,
Yeah.
but the other three are great.
They are.
Puppy's Puppy, the Beast of Nurgle, looks like he's following the school of going stand firm first.
Yeah.
And he has some nice looking pestigors. Catriona is a great ball carrier. Hunger is making for a great killer. If he gets 10 more SPP, he will surely get some piling on, and it will be even more scary. Of course, he's niggled, so he will have a big target on his back. But it's not like Veramam doesn't have enough rotters to throw in front of Hunger to protect him.
No.
We also have another ball carrier and another killer in the making. One Pestigor with dodge, one with mighty blow. And another star of the team is the crippled. He's 30 player, and he has two
Yeah.
heads. And have you ever seen the two heads? How the two heads rotter looks? If not, click on the
Yeah.
player.
It's like a demon thing coming out of his stomach.
Yeah, it's a really nice animation.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Now, two health does help the player to get to the foul, but it's still maybe an interesting decision.
Yeah.
Well, this is certainly one of the scariest teams in the division to play against.
Yeah.
Now, last season, this team started off fairly weak. They went into a loss after loss after loss. I believe at week 7 they were still below the admin team.
Oh,
So quite a rough season, but he turned it around in the end, and I feel like he will be looking with greedy eyes at one of the playoff spots. And I think he does have the team to take it.
yeah, it's a strong team.
Definitely. But I mean, let's take a look at his overall statistics: 13 wins, 6 draws, 11 losses. That's pretty nice for Nurgle.
Yeah,
Team is 2 seasons old, and well, yeah, one of the top contenders, I would say.
yeah, it's a strong team.
Now, what would you say Ninja Bread's Amazons might disagree with the Nurgle being the top contender?
Yeah, this is an amazing team as well. But Amazon uh, keeps often falling a little bit behind in the higher team values, so competitively.
And he has a few really nice players. Budekia
He
is a great
really
player. Cleopatra is a great player. English is a
yeah.
hard language. And uh, sure, uh, Amazon suffer at higher team values, but they are really efficient at what they're doing, and even with 4 setups, they are still
Yeah,
only sitting at 1,390 team values. So uh,
that's true.
I wouldn't take them easy. Uh,
No,
they are really annoying. Lots of blodge, lots of guard. Ninja Bread Man
thing,
came really short of getting a playoff spot last season. So
uh, but
he,
the thing is with this team is that there's no bench and armor value 7 all across. Could go badly.
true, but it's not like that line women are too expensive. So
Oh
if
no, no.
if he wants to, he can get a bench, which
Yeah,
might be useful. I could also see him. In, the Sage is one of those players who often drops a bench player to get better inducements or pick up another one against a different team. I could see Ninja Bread Man doing that as well. Like if he's up against the Nurgle, try to get a bench. If he's
mm,
up against one of the lower TV teams like the Dwarfs or the Norse, maybe go down to 11 players again.
yeah,
There's a lot of wiggle room and quite a few strategic choices you can make.
yeah.
Let's look at their statistics. They have 11 wins, 4 draws, 15 losses. Well, the surprising thing here is that they did fairly poorly in their first season, but did pretty well in the second season, which
Yeah.
you wouldn't necessarily expect for Emerson's. So let's see if he comes out even stronger in the third season. Anything left you might want to add? I know I've been taking over a little bit here.
No, but you are the main host. I'm just the co-host.
You stand an equal to me, so don't fear to chime in and just make me shut up.
Orcs are now equal to snakes or lizards. No, but to be honest though, it's a pretty decent looking team.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't expect Amazon team to look this great after 2 seasons.
Now, would you expect an ogre team to look like the Snot Battery after 2 seasons? I believe the team is two
Um,
seasons old. Yes, I think so.
Let me have a look. Oh wow! Yeah, no, the first season in Rebel I played ogres myself, and I didn't win a single game. I think I managed to pull off a draw or two, but yeah. um, no, this ogre team is nice. 2 blocks, that's an amazing skill on ogres. A lot of break tackles and guards.
Yeah,
Some
I
stand
don't
for
think you will
M6.
be able to tie down a single player in this team.
No,
All of
this
them
is
have either break tackle or nobblers.
yeah, exactly. It's a decent looking team. It's amazing looking for being an ogre team.
Yeah, it's a scary team to play against,
Yeah.
Probably winning is still probably not that hard, but I think the Snotberry will definitely take their fair share in blood, and
Yeah.
uh, I think it will be a really annoying team to play against. There's so much strength and so much break tackle, you will never know where the opponent will be after the next turn.
Exactly.
Of course, if he boneheads 6 times, then you might know where he will be next turn, but that's Ogres.
Yeah. 1 out of 6 are likely to bone out each round, right?
Are they
But
armor
he only
piecing
got
is. Yeah?
no, he got 6 ogres. I didn't see there's a Gnoblar between two of the ogres.
Yeah, he should switch those two around just
Yeah,
to make it easier for us.
I thought you only had 5 ogres, but now I can see that there's actually 6.
What do we think about the armor value 4 dirty player?
I love it. It's amazing.
I know you love your armor busted stunty pieces.
Yeah, because it's so fun when you have that low armor value and they keep bashing you like 3 or 4 turns in a row and they still don't break the armor. That's so hilarious.
Yeah, it can be really annoying to play against Snotlings with their dodge and sidestep, and sometimes you just can't seem to hurt them.
Yeah. But
Now,
once you get a powder, usually that's so. Or not that, but at least usually you get 2 SPP.
if you take a look at the statistics for these teams, 11 wins, 5 draws, and 19 losses. That's pretty damn decent for an Ogre team.
Yeah, that's very good for an ogre team.
I mean, 37 touchdowns, that's more than one touchdown a game, which really, I'm impressed.
And if you look at the casualties inflicted and casualties sustained, those are pretty on par average towards each other.
Yeah, indeed.
116 casualties sustained and 107 casualties inflicted. With all those Gnoblars, you would expect, or Snotlings, you would expect to have a lot more casualties sustained than inflicted.
True, and casualty sustains even counts it when you throw the Nobbler and it dies from there.
Yeah.
Now, from an Ogre team at 1770 team value to a Nurgle team at 1790 team value. It's Brutal Geometry, coached by Anuref.
Yeah. This is a strong team.
Again, those good-looking Nurgle warriors.
Yeah. I don't like it.
I
don't
mean,
like it at all.
the good thing is we don't have to play it.
Exactly. I'm happy about that.
He has a nice beast of Nurgle as well. No doubles yet, but to be honest, stand firm guard should be enough for a beast of Nurgle to be really annoying.
Yeah, and grab.
Yeah, grab to me often is just a bonus on top of things.
Yeah.
Now
Just to keep the players around you.
he has 2 nice killer pestigores. To me, it's a little bit interesting that the pestigore went block tackle. You might assume he would go wrestle tackle if it's a secker, but maybe that was just a spur of the moment thing when your actual Sekka died and you had to get some tackle or something along those lines. And block tackle is never bad.
No. But still, you don't need a sacker that bad in this team.
Yeah, you just kill the opponent and
Exactly.
don't care too much about the ball. You have 2 dirty player rotters as well.
Yeah.
Ball handling still might be a bit of an issue for this team. I mean, they have 1 Sure Hands Pestigore, but other than that, they have no ball handling skills. Which could be an issue, but again, if you just kill the opponent, then who cares?
Yeah.
As Nurgle often does. Let's see. Let's see how this team has fared in its seasons. You have 10 wins, 12 draws, 11 losses. That's pretty even. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's Nurgle for you. You kill them, you win. You kill some of them, you draw, and you kill none of them, and you lose. That's probably a little bit oversimplified, but I think you get my point.
Yeah. Should we
Well,
head over to the next team?
sure, Ricky Titan's Chorfs. The Doistuko Chorfs, to be exact.
Yeah. So they're suffering a bit from injuries, it seems.
Yeah, that there is a blocker missing, which... No, no, he's at the bottom. Swap that around. You made me think he was missing.
But still, armor value 8 blocker, movement 5 hobgoblin,
Yeah,
and
yes.
let's see, Niggle on a blocker, and another Niggle on a hobgoblin. So yeah, pretty damaged, but still a strong team.
Yeah, a fair bit of guard, mighty blow, some stand firm, some pylon, some claw. The bulls are looking good.
Yeah.
Black Bull leveled, so he will be probably getting block.
Yeah. Unless he rolls doubles or stat ups or something.
Yeah, it's a pretty competitive Dwarf team. If this team
Yeah.
rolls one or two more doubles on blockers, it will be really scary. And yeah, Dwarves are always a difficult team to face. But I think the team that gets to play them in the first week will be pretty happy with two hobgoblins missing and a blocker missing.
Yeah.
That's I take that. Better than when all of them are around. Let's see, Ricky Titan, he has 10 wins, 13 draws, 9 losses.
Yeah.
I think it's a team coming. No, is it? I'm not sure. It's a team that has been around, so he's not coming from them. For a second, I thought there he was coming from the minors, but that's just my mistake. Now, next up is Hustler's Dwarf team. He is a fellow
Yeah.
recapper,
Just man
and
with short legs.
yeah, let's talk a little bit of shit about his team.
Yeah.
He has a lot of misters. There is a mister for everything.
Yeah.
Now, if you recall correctly, let's go back to Vervam's Nurgle team real quick. You will find a Rodan named Mr. Run for It.
Ah, yeah.
Now, that Rodder was once a runner with extra agility and extra movement, I believe, which
Wow.
found his future in being a Rodder.
Yeah.
Hasler was not too happy about it, but
That's understandable.
well, I mean, I think his team is still looking really good there.
Yeah, it is.
The Longbeard, the classic build, guard, stand firm or guard, mighty blow. Strength up, Longbeard built in for good measure. The Troll Slayers are looking really scary. Mr. Mohawk is there to kill stuff.
Yeah.
He will also have a target on his back with his armor value 7, but I think the Longbeards here should be able to back him up.
They should be, yeah.
And the one thing missing is the another good runner, because the new Mr. Run for It isn't quite on par with as the old Mr. Run for It was. Sure, block, kickoff return is nice, but you'd really like an agility or a movement or at least some dodge to make him a little bit more durable.
True, true.
But I think no one will be really happy to play this team. Maybe except the Nurgle teams. They usually do fairly well against Shores, but here is a lot of guard and a lot of stand firm, which can be really, really annoying.
Mhm.
So which one is your favorite Mister?
Um, there is something about Mr. Mohawk.
And he definitely does have his flair.
Yeah, good development, and just a little bit of an injury to top it off to make him more tasty for other people.
I like Mr. Mustache.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it's a pretty good name, even if the dwarf doesn't really exactly have a mustache. I mean, sure, but there's so much more beard that I wouldn't characterize it quite as a mustache, but
No,
maybe he got that beard after he got the name, and
maybe.
maybe he just grew out of the mustache. I like saying mustache. Now look at those statistics. 16 wins, 6 draws, 7 losses.
Those are some good stats.
Yeah, hustlers you to win games.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, scary looking dwarf team.
it is. Yeah.
Now, next up will be the lizards. I've just begun for a second to turn on the light.
Okay.
Now I'm
So,
back, so let's get into it.
Cold One Cannibals, and the coach is King Can.
Yeah, and they have some nice service there.
And there is one nasty skink as well, Moment Valley 9.
I also think here we have a Spartacus fan, since there are quite a few familiar names.
Yeah.
Crixus, Argron, Gannicus. I do recognize all those names. So, nice theme there.
Yeah.
The Sneaky Git skink is interesting. If it was me, I would probably fire that bloaty ass skink there, but that's me. It's your decision to make. He has a nice one turner there with Varga, but yeah, he's maybe missing a really good skink.
Yeah, if you have gotten a skink with agility, that would be amazing. Agility 4 skinks are so scary.
Definitely. I'd like to have one as well.
Yeah.
I like how you built the Soros mostly. Now, I probably wouldn't have taken the stat ups. I like the movement more than the agility because what
Agility is kinda useless in my opinion.
I mean, I do like to make my Soros touchdowns, but going from agility 2, from agility 1 to agility 2 doesn't exactly help much, and it's far from being able to rely on him picking up the ball.
Yeah.
But he has some guard, he has some mighty blow, some tackle. I think he has what he needs. The
Yeah.
team might be a bit bloaty for what it is, but let's see how he does with it. Quick look at the statistics will tell us that the team hasn't been doing great. 7 wins, 6 draws, 13 losses.
Hmm.
Probably King Khan is probably a little bit disappointed with that record, but you know, there's always time to turn your luck around.
Yeah.
Seek freedom, get those wins. Well, definitely not in a bad position, not in the greatest position in the division. He will struggle against those Nurgle, I believe. But let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Now, next up is Race's team, the Fire Stars. Not quite sure how to pronounce that name, but this team is pretty famous for drinking a lot of soya milk and punching like weaklings and not hurting a thing.
But oh my god, those strength ups.
Yeah,
Wow.
Trace decided who needs actual skills. I just take setups.
Yeah, strength 6 Chaos Warrior. Wow.
That's quite something.
Yeah.
But he is lacking a bit of actual skills. He doesn't exactly have a killer. Sure, there's Rail, but he doesn't really have a killer goat. He does have some nice ball carriers, but it's not exactly a chaos team at 1820 team value we would expect.
No. But it's a team for the future. If you get some more skills in those strength players, they will be so scary.
Yeah, and it will get even more bloaty.
Yeah.
He's looking at those 2000 team value and going like, maybe I'll have to make it 3000. As I said earlier, Trace has been known to get outbashed by elves.
Yeah.
It's his record overall is still pretty good. 11 wins, 6 draws, 9 losses. I heard his first season was really good. His second season not so much, but those players can definitely be really scary.
Yeah.
Strength 6 Chaos Warrior. Wow. And like, and 2 Strength 5 Chaos Warriors. That's nothing you see often.
No.
Yeah, do we have a favorite name?
Um, I don't know. Maybe Report Darth May stands out a bit.
I think that's the player he bought and not actually built himself.
Okay. Yeah.
uh, I like Flancy. It has something fancy. Yeah, I feel bad for making that joke, but not really. You guys have to live with it. Well, let's see how Drace does this season.
Yeah.
Will his strength be an asset, or will it more be bloat? Let's see. Let's find out.
I think without block it might be on the bloaty side, unfortunately.
Yeah, the problem with strength players who don't have block, they often just get half diced from a block player and go down.
Yeah.
Well, on to our two Skaven teams. And if you look at the RR Mafia Mumble Rats, coached by Kumostern, you will find a piece you don't like. I think nobody likes that piece.
There are 2 pieces I don't like.
Well, I think the worst one is called Milo.
Yeah. Movement 10 gutter runners. It shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, that's. To be honest, I wouldn't hate it if you could get 9 movement at most, because movement 10, sure feet sprint, it's so hard from stopping it to stop him from doing just going one turn after one turn after one turn.
Yeah.
And Kumo's turn has the bank to keep not the bank, the bench to keep him safe on the sideline when he doesn't need him.
Exactly.
Now, what other player do you have in mind when we talk about disgusting players?
The Storm Merman is strength up. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's pretty dangerous piece. Now, I assume it's probably a normal for the level up, because if it was a double, he'd probably not wait to pick up Claw. He also has a nice Sekka Gutter Runner with Strip Ball and Wrestle. A Blotch
Yeah.
Gutter Runner, a normal Gutter Runner. He has a nice thrower. He's pretty good at picking up the ball.
Yeah.
His mutations doubles on throwers.
Yeah, it is on all
Yeah,
side.
yeah, that's why you picked up extra arms before picking up block.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of line rats. Kick is great to have. Wrestle, because what else are you gonna pick up as a second level? A dirty player is always great to have. This game team is looking scary.
Yeah.
I think it was together with Hustler and Veravem in Division 4, I believe. Was it Division? I'm not 100% sure which division it was, but they were together in one division. Let's see how their rematches go. We're very curious to see how those will do. Because the statistics of the Mumble Reds aren't too great. 8 wins, 6 draws, 12 losses. That's not exactly the best record in the division, but the team like right now is looking very dangerous.
Yeah.
I'd never underestimate them. Now, let's compare it to another Skaven team. They are the ASCII Reds, because they are named after, well, an ASCII Red. And I won't be able to pronounce most of the players. I will be able to pronounce Unpronounceable. Unpronounceable is a great name.
Yeah.
Lord Voldemort, I can get behind that as well. Anonymous, Cake
Yeah.
and Red, those are all good names.
What is up with those Movement 10 guest runners?
Yeah, we should purge them from Rebel.
Yeah.
Just get rid of all of them.
This is another strong team as well.
Yeah, two good looking Storm Vermins, both have Tackle, Mighty Blow, one of them has Pylon, one of them Claw. They are ready to kill stuff. He has nice looking Gutter Runners, an Agility 5 Gutter Runner, because a Movement 1 is just not enough.
Exactly.
I believe that one will be for the recovery with Leap, Sure Hands, and Block. Probably looking at Big Hand next. Secker as well with Wrestle, Strip Ball, and Dauntless, and Blotch for a good measure. This team has everything it needs, and a bench. Scary stuff.
But didn't you say in one of the other precaps that you should not name your players the same?
Yeah, that's because every rule has team
Exceptions?
a team that was responsible for the creation of said rule. And
okay.
you're looking at the team who was responsible for that rule, because literally every player of his team was named after the Asgard sign. So you might be able to see that adminning a game of this team where you have to assign SPP points to certain players might be troublesome.
Yeah.
So that's your reason why you can't name all of your orders the same. This team. Also, Harrington didn't exactly like reporting or casting the games of that team for that reason.
That's understandable.
yeah, it is pretty understandable. So, if you were curious, that's a pretty good way to piss off Herring Sword. Well, and even more so if you look at the players. Disgusting. Those gutter runners.
Yeah.
Let's look at his records. It is pretty damn good. 14 wins, 2 draws, and 6 losses.
That's very good.
Yeah, Misu is there to conquer and win, and to annoy people who have to cast their games. Well, that was the second Skaven team. Now we have 2 players who still haven't accepted the tickets. Shame on you. For one, we have the Bidden Heroes, coached by Error40. They are a vampire team, and look at those vampires. Now, of course, you can't see them.
No, I'm not able to
because
see that,
you're
unfortunately.
just not as fancy as me. I get to see them because I'm great. Now, if I tell you they are all above level 4, you will see why I say they have great vampires. There is a blotch agility sure hands vampire called Count America.
Mm-hmm.
There is a block mighty blow jump up tackle piling on one called Batman. Duh.
Wow.
That's a pretty scary piece.
Yeah.
Then we have Marty McBite, who has dodge, pro, block, and sidestep. And for good measure, we also have Wonder Ramp, who has blotch, strength, and mighty blow.
Wow.
That's pretty damn scary lineup, wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, those are some nasty looking or sounding vampires.
To round out the thralls, we have, how many are there? 9 thralls. One of them has leader to get the extra reroll, which is really helpful for vampires. Then we have a guard block one, also really helpful. We have a kick one who got a niggle, but he's there to kick the ball and to be bitten. And we have a dirty player of wrestle, so it's a really good looking vampire team. And it's only at 1660 team value, so for those vamps, really lean.
Yeah.
Yep, I think Arrow 40 will also be one of the coaches to look out for in this division.
Yeah.
Especially teams like Nurgle will struggle a fair bit at protecting their balls against such vamps.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Statistics, let's take a quick look. He has 15 wins, 6 draws, 17 losses. So pretty even record. And well, that's also a bit of the duality of vampires. It can go really right, or it can go really wrong. And you don't. It doesn't go even very often. It either goes very wrong or very right.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, let's move on to the last team. And if you're familiar with the name Yop, you will be very happy to see this team. It's the Scholars of Ogre Hampshire, coached by Macy.
Okay.
Yop as their star. He's a level 4 Nobbler with Agility 5 and Hail Mary pass.
Oh, nice. That is awesome.
Now, if you think he's alone in being great, then you're wrong, because there are lots of ogres. Now, the first ogre, he has break, tackle, stand firm, guard.
Mm-hmm.
Second ogre has block, agility, guard, and then agility bust. So pretty bloaty, but he still has blocks, so very worth it.
Yeah.
Then we have a normal ogre. He's fresh. A break tackle guard one who's armor busted. A break tackle agility one, and a break tackle frenzy leap ogre.
Leap ogre. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I think that player might not be built optimally, but he's definitely a very fun player.
Yeah.
And we are all about having fun here. I mean, this is
Yes.
the team of Yop, and yeah, it's a pretty good ogre team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only at 1960 team value, so who cares about bloat anyway?
Yeah.
We also have a dive and tackle Nobbler, a leader Nobbler with kick, who's armor value 4 and movement 4. And we have a dirty player Nobbler, who's called Benefits, because everybody can benefit from a good foul.
Yeah. Nice.
Now, they also once had a Nobbler with Dauntless. He was
Mm-hmm.
called the working class. Sadly, he died.
So,
Don't worry, the replacement is in the making. We have a Nobler called Working Class Resurgence, and
mhm.
I'm pretty sure he will be rolling a double and getting Dauntless S again.
Nice.
At least I'm rooting for it.
Yeah.
Now, if you wonder how those ogres have done in the past, let's take a quick look at the statistics. And we will see 6 wins, 5 draws, and 18 losses.
Nice.
I mean, it's for an ogre team that's not too shabby. And
Exactly.
if you look at the Wealthiest Coffee, the League Ogre, you might figure out that Macy is here to have fun and not necessarily to compete for the top spot.
Yeah.
Uh, I can tell you now, you will have a fun game against him. And I believe that's it for the teams.
Yeah.
Well, what do we think? Do we have a favorite?
Yeah, two favorites. Job's team.
Yeah, Job's team is great.
Yeah, that is
That's
awesome. I would like to see some matches cast.
yeah,
And to winning, I think Hustlers Dwarf got a good chance of winning.
yeah. The Hustlers dwarfs are looking scary.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit sad to say it, but as I said earlier, Veravem is in the top spot to reign in this division. Of course, he's a friend of mine, so I wish him to lose horribly. But I mean, if we look at it at 1,890 Nurgle are scary. The other Nurgle team, of course, is scary as well. So
Yeah.
I think the two Nurgle teams could dominate the division, but maybe they just kill each other in the first week. So other than that, the two Skaven teams are scary as well. So I'm actually probably going with Misu to win it all. He has a great record. He has a good team. I don't see him coming short of a playoff spot if he doesn't get killed horribly.
Yeah. That's the main issue, though. Getting killed.
Yeah, that is a problem. I admit that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it, people. We covered everything. We had a fair bit of banter. We slaughtered some names. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, shall we say let's see you next time?
Yeah, and good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck in the coming season to everyone except Veravam. He doesn't need luck, he's Nurgle. Well, people, see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.